Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. I'm telling you right now, Caroline Dubois is the truth. Caroline Dubois can scrap. I can't take nothing from her. She's a beast. She fight Baumgardner, you don't know who's gonna win. She fight Turhan, you don't know who's gonna win. But her fighting Amelia Moore, you know who's gonna win. Why in the world is Caroline Dubois fighting Amelia Moore? Amelia Moore has like 4 fights, no knockouts. Claressa Shields fought Kaye Scott, 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, no knockouts. But again, 5 wins, no knockouts for Kaye Scott. Amelia Moore, 4 wins, no knockouts. Is Dubois copying Shields? What's the science behind this? I'm trying to understand the matchmaking here. Because Dubois is a beast. Look at her. She's dangerous, man. That's her new trainer, Manny Robles. You putting this beast inside the ring with Amelia Moore. Speed, power, southpaw, mean as hell inside the ring. With her expanded amateur background, accomplishments. And you letting this monster get in the ring with Amelia Moore. How did that happen? That's all I'm asking. How did that happen? Because she is the truth. And Manny Robles is an elite trainer. Y'all think y'all saw the best of Caroline Dubois? Nope. But y'all gonna see what she get in the ring this weekend. I give that shit 1 round. Maybe 2 rounds. But 1 round, she knocks her out cold. Watch. It just doesn't make sense to me for them to put these two in the ring together. Taking place on Saturday, August 29th. I just can't figure it out. But it's for a unified world championship at 135 pounds, and we know that ultimately they're trying to build towards Caroline Dubois against Alycia Baumgardner. But I'm just telling you, I don't think Turhan's going to cooperate, and Baumgardner's going to have a very competitive fight. But everybody wants to see Dubois against Baumgardner. Now, you're probably saying, all right, Hood, where are you going with this? I'm going where I'm going. That's why I told you all those positive things about Caroline Dubois. I'm not taking nothing from Caroline. I'm telling you. I think she can go on and become the face of women's boxing by whipping ass, you know? And she seems to be a pleasant person. Of course, she get a little bit chippy, but that's just a competitive spirit that the ladies have. She was going a little bit overboard initially with Claressa's influence, but she seemed to have reeled it in. But she's a shit talker. But as long as she doesn't go, and none of these women go to Claressa Shields' route, I think they'll be okay. But fans are questioning the fight. They are. They're like, yo, we need to have a serious conversation about Dubois and this Amelia Moore fight, Hood. Because when you look at Dubois, you're not looking at an ordinary fighter. She's not just here trying to build a record. She's one of the most talented young female boxers in the sport. She's got it. She has got it, man. And this is exactly why so many fans are scratching their heads about this opponent, Amelia Moore. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll tell you this. 4 fights, no knockouts, going up against this beast. Why? That's my question. Why? Caroline already viewed that as a serious threat across multiple weight classes from 130 at 35, 40, 47. They're like, she has the physical ability, she has the technical ability, the intelligence, conditioning, composure to eventually compete with some of the biggest names in women's boxing across all weight divisions, probably with plus or minus 10, maybe minus 10 plus 20 pounds of where she's currently at 135. But when you put a fighter like that against someone with extremely limited professional experience, people naturally start wondering whether this is a developmental fight, a strategic, stay busy fight, or something more, much more ambitious. To me, it's like you're taking the pit bull, Caroline Dubois, and throwing a chihuahua in there and Amelia Moore to get her ass devoured. And that's what's going to happen. I think she's going to get tranquilized. If Amelia Moore beats Caroline Dubois, then I'll strip butt naked on live, jump in the river with man-eating crocodiles, swim across halfway, splash the water to agitate the crocodile, and then get into hand-to-hand combat with that motherfucker. And if he eats me, he consumes me, I'm out of here. But if I whip his ass, I'll swim out to the other side, stand up butt naked, and do 25 jumping jacks. But what I'm getting at is Hood Champion probably won't have to do all that because Caroline Dubois is going to tranquilize her. Now, this shit about Claressa Shields, Lord have mercy, boy. It's so unfortunate that I got to mention Claressa Shields' name. I'm trying not to mention Big Vote. But you can't help but wonder if Caroline Dubois is starting to follow that Claressa Shields route. She had the wigs and shit. She was doing the makeup. Caroline Dubois, if you're watching this video, you're beautiful. Don't do that. You don't need that shit. I like to see the natural brown skin, little to no makeup, the cornrows. I like to see her look natural. But that's just me. Some guys are into the makeup and all that. I don't care for that. A woman can do what they want, but me, I like natural. You know what I'm saying? If you got long curly hair, beautiful. You got coarse hair, beautiful. Straight hair, beautiful. You shave your hair low, beautiful. You rocking the Jeanne, cool. As long as you wash your ass, you floss and brush your teeth, your hygiene is on point, we can be up and away. You got a good attitude, though, because I can't be dealing with no goddamn Claressa Shields. Man, please. Last thing we need is Caroline Dubois with that English accent to pick that up. Mon, please. Mon, please. Nah, Caroline, don't go that route. Don't go that route. But it's a provocative comparison, man. Let me explain what people are talking about here. Claressa receives criticism all the time, but she received criticism over that Kaye Scott fight, man. You know, Kaye Scott, 42 years old, OnlyFans model, 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. She had the emergency CAT scan on the skull and brain. You know, you kind of knew she wasn't going to stand a chance, but maybe she have a slight chance, sliver of hope if Claressa, with the 40-pound weight cut, would have become exhausted after the first 3 rounds. And then Kaye Scott, you know, who looked to have the superb conditioning, could have been up and away after round 3 or 4, maybe 5. But Kaye Scott foolishly decided to stand in front of Big Vote, who still had the speed and had some, you know, unexpected power at 160. And she tranquilized Kaye Scott. She actually turned her into a Puerto Rican, had her dancing salsa in the ring when Claressa landed that big left hook. But again, Amelia Moore, 4 wins, no knockouts. Kaye Scott, 5 wins, no knockouts. So fans have pinpointed that. And they're just like, yo, this doesn't represent the kind of threat that they expect from someone with Shields' accomplishment and someone with Caroline Dubois' accomplishment. So they're looking at Dubois and then Amelia Moore fight, and they're just seeing another situation like, yo, this shit here has been infected, like Caroline may have been infected by the woke virus. You know what I'm saying? And this right here is unfortunate because just like Claressa had a significant experience advantage over Kaye Scott, Caroline Dubois has a significant experience advantage over Amelia Moore. Look, I ain't making that shit up, you know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you this is a big difference. Caroline Dubois is not Claressa Shields. So I don't want to put that jacket on her. But I'm just saying, Amelia Moore, she ain't really Kaye Scott. She's young, she's hungry, and she's coming to win. I think Kaye Scott had every intention on winning, but also she's doing the OnlyFans thing. First thing she couldn't wait to do is hit to California on holiday and go over there and hit the goddamn pool and post pictures in the bikini. So she there in the bikini, and she there breezing by the pool. And that big knot on her head disappeared. So who knows what really is going on with Kaye Scott? And I really like Kaye Scott, man, but I ain't too sure about her. And I'm still wondering about Claressa and why she ain't take them gloves off, but that's a whole nother goddamn conversation. But I'm just telling you, every fighter has a different career trajectory. Everyone's priorities are going to be different, but I just think matchups create different circumstances. And a fighter's record doesn't tell you everything about them and how dangerous they are. A fighter can have 4 pro fights and still possibly upset the apple cart because they possess the ability that doesn't show up in a record. But I'm watching Amelia Moore. She definitely looks like she got more life in it than Kaye Scott. I'm just saying the matchmaking. I don't understand. Ain't no disrespect to Amelia Moore. I just got to criticize the matchmaking. But fans are confused, man. They're like, Caroline's talented. She's talented. But you should be moving up the ladder, not reversing. Why is she coming down, taking an Amelia Moore type fight? Why would you go the Claressa Shields route? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense because Caroline Dubois is considered one of the most dangerous female boxers right now. We want to see you tested. You know, everybody criticizes Alycia Baumgardner. She won't move up in weight. She's putting duck sauce on the fried rice. She's scared. She's a coward. She goes up in weight to fight probably the most dangerous women at 135. Turhan is a problem, man. And then Caroline Dubois comes and fights who? People want rivalries. They want fights that answer questions. I just think this fight with Amelia Moore and Caroline Dubois doesn't answer any questions. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. That's why when you think about Alycia Baumgardner, Mikaela Mayer, Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron, and other elite fighters, they immediately enter the conversation because fans are saying right now, we know Caroline can fight. But now show us, Caroline, what you can do against somebody who can push you, because Amelia Moore, that ain't the answer. And I think that's just the difference. You know, we know Caroline Dubois can fight. But I'm telling you, I am very concerned for Amelia Moore. You know what? Not just because of Caroline Dubois. Because of Manny Robles. See, a lot of y'all who are following this, y'all don't know who Manny Robles is as a trainer. You see what I'm saying? People just follow the drama and shit. But y'all know who Manny Robles is, and that's Caroline Dubois' new trainer. I get this fight 1 round. She gonna knock this chick out in one round, maybe 2. Watch. And you gotta attribute all of that success to Manny Robles' influence and strategizing. You watch. That's what make this shit even more intriguing to me, man. Robles is going to have Caroline completely prepared, and the question is going to become, what happens when Caroline comes into this fight 100% under the tutelage of Manny Robles? And this is what concerns the real diehard boxing fans who know who Manny Robles is. It ain't even about this being a competitive fight. It's about the combination of Caroline's natural ability, preparation, physical tools, and Manny Robles as her new trainer. It creates a very difficult night for Moore. I think Moore gets hurt. I'm just being honest with you. However, at the same time, I ain't going to take it to the stupid. I'm going to hold my horses. The best fighter doesn't win. It's the fighter who boxes the best on that night, and it could be Moore. I'm just saying, you know, I don't want to underestimate an opponent because the record isn't impressive. Because that's how upsets happen and how reputations are made, you know what I'm saying? So Amelia Moore does have an opportunity. She has a chance of walking into the fight. She doesn't have the pressure that Caroline has. But I'm just telling you, Caroline's expected to win, expected to look good, expected to dominate. Moore doesn't have those expectations. That's because of everything that Caroline brings to the table, especially her new trainer. And I think that's very dangerous. So Moore's in trouble. But it's dangerous for Caroline because she's not, I don't think it's because I'll put it to you this way. There's expectations for Caroline Dubois. You know what I mean? There's some expectations, man. People see Caroline as one of the best female fighters, pound for pound. And once the public starts to view you like that, an elite fighter, they're not going to be cool with ordinary matchmaking. And that's what you're getting here, in my opinion. You're getting ordinary matchmaking. And it's hard to sell this fight to people as, if Caroline wins, that means she's ready for the Turhans, or she's ready for Alycia, or she would dominate them. No, this to me is like a stay busy fight. You know, go in there, tranquilize her, get it out the way, but you put all that work in to go in there in 30 seconds, the fight's over. Caroline's not going to get any rounds. If she gets rounds, I'll strip butt naked, jump in a river, man, eating crocodiles. Swim across halfway, splash the water, agitate the crocodile, wrestle that motherfucker. Whether he consumes me, it is what it is. But if I kick his ass, which I fully expect to do, swim across to the other side, stand up, do 25 jumping jacks, then conclude the live stream. Okay? But I don't think I'm going to have to do all that because I think Caroline Dubois is going to beat the shit out of Moore. That's just how I see it. No disrespect to Moore. But yeah, Caroline's one of the biggest stars in boxing. The bigger you become, the more we demand from you, and that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So you can't simultaneously convince fans that you're one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport while necessarily trying to, and I think consistently giving opponents they perceive as significantly below your level. You can't do that and think people are going to continue to support you. People are going to start asking questions like, yo, is Caroline putting duck sauce on the fried rice? They eat fried rice out there in the UK. I know they eat fish and chips, chicken and chips. You know what I'm saying? But y'all eat fried rice and y'all got duck sauce? because that's what they're going to say. But I'll tell you this. I'm pumping the brakes on that shit because I'm going to question the matchmaking, all right? I don't care who it offends. Caroline, yo, much love from over here, but I'm questioning your matchmaking, all right? But I ain't questioning your heart. And I know you can fight. So I want to make sure you hear that. But this shit here, man, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Promoters have contracts. Networks have schedules. Championship organizations have mandatories. Opponents have negotiations. Weight classes create limitations. And sometimes the opponent the fighter wants is not available. And I will say this. Caroline did send a contract to Turhan. Turhan turned it down, is my understanding. So I probably should have prefaced this whole conversation with that initially, but I didn't. But hey, I threw it out there now. So hopefully you hung around long enough to get to this part of the video. But fans have the right to say, we don't care what's going on, man. Give us better fights. And that's why this fight could backfire or become a master stroke. You know what I'm saying? If Caroline goes out there and does what I think she's going to do, people are going to tranquilize Moore within the first round. People are going to say that's what we expected. But if Moore shocks everyone, oh shit, all of a sudden the matchmaking looks completely different. Even if the fight goes like how it did with Amanda Serrano and Mansour. A lot of people, I told people Mansour could fight. They ain't listen to me because they don't be following the sport like that and shit. And then we saw what happened with Serrano. That was a tough fight. But with Moore, I just don't, what I know about Moore is she more of a threat to Caroline Dubois than Kaye Scott was to Claressa. But I just think Dubois clips, but I just think the conversation changes. All of a sudden, Moore is competitive, or if she hurts, or if she beats Caroline. You know, but that's just boxing. You know what I mean? The Buster Douglas moment, it's happened over and over. The best fighter doesn't win. It's a boxer who fights the best on that night. So the fighter everyone thinks is a nobody can become the story of the night. And that's why Caroline can't afford to underestimate it. You know what I mean? She's got something different to protect. Caroline has something different to protect. She's not just trying to look out for her undefeated record or a championship. She got an emerging reputation that she's protecting, and fans are beginning to believe she'll become one of the most defining fighters of her generation. And I think that too, and that's a massive compliment. She just got to watch her attitude. Don't be infected by the goat virus. Get your vaccination. Anyone out here who knows it, what do you need to do to ensure you don't contract the goat virus? Go to the bamboo garden, get you a nice plate of fried rice and chicken wings and a large sweet tea. Probably buffet line. Go back for seconds if you need to, man, to really, ensure that you don't have to worry about contracting the goat virus. Because I'm telling you right now, with Caroline Dubois, fans believe she's special. She's got a responsibility. They want special fights from her. If you're a special fighter, give her special fights. They want to see Caroline fight the best. They want to see her challenged. They want to see her tested. And eventually, Caroline's going to have to answer those questions against the biggest names available, and people want the rivalry. Baumgardner and Caroline. Give us a trilogy. You know what I mean? Or at least 2 fights. If Caroline tranquilizes the Baumgardner in 2 fights, okay, you're 1-2 back-to-back, no need for a third. But if it's 1-1, you get a third. But if Baumgardner tranquilizes her the first 2 fights, no need for a third. But the bottom line is, you got the rivalry. We want to see the rivalry. So we'll see. But everybody got an opinion. Is Caroline Dubois copying Claressa Shields? That's what people are asking. Even I said, what the fuck is this? How'd we get here? But I ain't going to go that far based solely on the matchup, but I think maybe I could frame it a little differently. Like, why is Caroline Dubois a fighter who many believe could eventually become the pound-for-pound elite, right? Why is she fighting someone with only 4 professional fights and no knockout victories? Like that's the question. How? Who, what, when, where, why, how did she end up in this position? I think that's the real debate, man. But Dubois has just become too talented for fans to accept simple matchmaking at any opponent. They want to see her push. They want to see that. So the bar's been raised. So up and away. Get over that goddamn bar. And I'm telling y'all, with Manny Robles in that corner, that bar's been raised even higher. I'm telling you, man, you can't go out here, man, and think it's going to be okay to be handyman. Now, you got to be Superman or Superwoman. No handy woman. You got to be Superwoman. You know what I mean? Wonder Woman. You got to do the business, because you dominate them even more. People are going to say you're supposed to do that. But if Moore comes out here and clips Caroline Dubois, That's going to change women's boxing, man. Even if Moore just give Caroline Dubois a very tough fight, then maybe the matchmaking wasn't as strange as everybody thought. And that's why we watch boxing. You can analyze the records, try to analyze the experience, analyze the styles. But once those two women step in the ring, none of that prediction matters anymore. You know what I mean? Caroline Dubois has a reputation. Amelia Moore has an opportunity. And I think somebody has something to prove. Dubois got to just prove that Amelia Moore doesn't belong in there. Amelia Moore has to prove that she belongs in there. But right now, Alycia Baumgardner is saying, yo, put more skin in the game, talking about, me and look at what you're doing. But they all on MVP, so maybe we should be looking at what MVP is doing. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.